What's happening today is a couple of days ago we received a letter from Watford Borough Council saying that they were rejecting our request to become a community asset. We're extremely angry about this for two reasons. One, because Watford Council are taking it as a foregone conclusion that the Secretary of State will agree with them to change the use of the land. And secondly, because they actually agree in here that the land does currently further the social well-being and social interests of the community, and yet they still want to build on us. It's been refused on the second part of the criteria for future use, that because they say they're going to use the land for the development of the health campus. The Secretary of State hasn't decided what the future of this allotment is, so we think it's ridiculous that they can't grant it on that particular criteria when there is no proof, no plans, no certainty that will ever happen.
What about the other infrastructure that's going into place? What do you think it will happen?
I mean, no, I don't personally think it will happen. I think at the end of the day there will be houses built on this land with no infrastructure whatsoever, or with very little infrastructure. They say they have funding for a road, they say they have funding for the train station that will be nearby, they say they have funding for many things, but they can't actually prove it in real terms. At the end of the day, I think this is just a money-making scheme. This is a blatant land grab. They want to use this allotment land basically to build housing on. And they'll do that with the smokescreen of the health campus. They'll say that the health campus is going to build on it. I seriously have my own personal doubts that at the end of the day that will ever happen. It's a land swap. So basically they give the land to the developer builds the houses and they split the profits. That's how they figured it all out. Watford Borough Council have not made any attempts to contact the local neighbourhood about this and to explain to the local neighbourhood that they will be losing out on the allotments, that they won't have this massive community attraction anymore, that in the future this won't be there for them, and that their council taxes and their rates will go on building houses, more houses. So you're looking at about 1,800 people minimum, all with cars, because no matter how green everybody likes to think we can be, most people need a car nowadays. There's just not the infrastructure to cope with it, and there won't be. There's no plans to build another, there's plans to build one school, there's no plans to build a further one. The Watford ratepayers will not benefit in any way from the sale of this community land. In actual fact, they will end up having to pay higher taxes. They'll pay with the local amenities, they'll pay with the already inadequate infrastructure. They'll pay for the fact lots of the doctor surgeries are already full up and can't take anybody else on board. They'll pay with the hospitals who already can't cope. And although we are, and again I'd like to reiterate this, we're not in any way against the health campus whatsoever, but we're just sceptical that it will ever happen because they just lack the funding involved, and the ratepayers are going to be the one to suffer once again. Dorothy Thornhill tweeted me to say that just for the record, she had never received any communication from us to meet up. I immediately tweeted back and said, just for the record, I did tweet you. I asked you to come to the open brunch morning that we had. You replied that you'd see what you could do, but you were probably going to church, and I again replied that it would still be great to see her afterwards. After that, there's no more communication. I then put that out onto Twitter, and lots of people remembered this tweet going around because they were very hopeful that she would come down and that there would be some open dialogue, because all the previous meetings with her have been in council settings where we haven't been actually able to have any open dialogue whatsoever. So Dorothy Thornhill, again, is it spin, is it propaganda, or does she just have a very short memory? I don't know. I think that Dorothy Thornhill and her council, her cabinet have handled it in a very disgraceful manner. There's been no transparency, there has been no real communication with us, there's been no open dialogue. It has all been done behind closed doors, and the only meetings she's had with us have been for consultation when she has needed to do that.